At this juncture, I will call my dear sisters so that we can walk Sister Adelina to the front.
Lord Bishop Salesius Mugambi, our Bishop, the Parish Priest, Father Constance, Father Douglas Weja, Director of St. Matthias Muruba Seminary, that's a son of this diocese, our friend and priest from Uganda, Father Meo. I think I saw another priest who came late, I don't know where he's gone. Father Peter Justus, and even the fathers of this parish, the honorable members, if there are here, those who are invited, all the invited guests, our religious men, especially men and women, especially our leadership from the AOSK, with special recognition. We have already seen you. My family members, the Ranger family of Muguna and the extended family, the faithful of this parish, our friends invited. I can see many friends who came, the family of Motea and the others. My own teacher, Mr. Keruja, is here. Thank you very much. And all the parishioners of Kionyo, Tokumieni Yesu Kristu. Murungu no mwega, really overwhelmed by all those who have talked and said nice things about me. For the bishop to have found time to be with us, the priests that have come, Father Douglas, Father Meo, all the way from Uganda, Father Constance, the parish priest, I really feel overwhelmed. But I really thank God that I was able to reach this day, and I want really to thank God, especially for my sisters, the Nazareth sisters, who have supported me, and I can see that almost the entire congregation is here. It's not normal for people going for Thanksgiving to have such a crowd of sisters, but thank you, sisters, that you found time to celebrate with me. My family members, the extended family, and my nieces, nephews, my brothers and sisters, and everybody, really I feel grateful. The first thing that I want to thank God for, and I'm thanking God, is the protection and the guidance. The protection, I can say something more little about my early life. I was born the time of Mau Mau rebellion, those who, you know the history of Mau Mau. So my father was in the forest, my mother was carrying me on the back. I was a small baby that time. And, you know, my mother used to tell me, do you know you are the one who saved me? Why? Because she was one of those marked, because she was a wife of a Mau Mau, was to be killed. And because I was a small baby, when they told the Askaris told her, keep your baby down, to be thrown into the pit, to be killed, I think I screamed to the highest. I don't know what I did. So I think the people, felt sorry, those who wanted to, execute her, then they said, okay, take your baby and go away. So whenever my mother remembered that, we would quarrel and, do a few things. When I'm a bit naughty, then she would say, what So that is one of the things I'm really thanking God that really I could have done that time. It was a very vulnerable time, but we thank God that I was able to have the life, to be able to celebrate today. One of the other things I really want to celebrate life about and the protection of God is I had the occasion to have, road accidents, motor vehicle accidents. Maybe those who say they are charismatic, they say you have a spirit of death. And it seems so because I have had several accidents. 6 of them I can count. Some end on collisions, others, overturning and all that. And all of them, 2 of them were actually almost fatal because I remember I was hospitalized and I didn't even know where I was. And coming out of those situations, I see the love of God. And that's why really I want to thank God for protecting me, for keeping me alive all that time. And for many other occasions that I have, seen God's heart in my life when things were very tough and I almost even, got despairing, but I saw God's heart in it. One of the other things I want to thank God about is, of course, my family and the vocation to the religious life. I have 2 families, the biological family, I have my religious family, the Nazarene sisters, and I have a lot to thank God for. I can say that initially my people were not understanding what it was about the vocation, because when I started, saying I wanted to be a sister, they couldn't understand, Antobaga turi ibaije nteto cia gaturu racia karimenya igitara mau manto jau batikwenda kuigwa. My people asked me, what kind of a voice are you talking about? Nobody else has been called from this area. So I said, okay, if that's what you are saying, well, at least there is always a beginning. So I remember my mother was totally against, and she was even very bitter about it. But of course, later she came to understand. And to see that, I think one of the things that people have said about is that self-determination, that when I see this is to be done and I am convinced of it, I don't fear and I move ahead, I go ahead. So I told my mother, I want to go. I told my father, I want to go. Where are you going? Well, I know it's a religious life, it's a call. I don't know. I know Nkabone. At that time they were saying Sister Van Nkabone. So I said, I hear Nkabone. I remember Sister Marichera. Where's Marichera? Marichera is here. She was one of those I knew because we were from the same school. So I said I want to go to Nkabone. And then my mother was very nasty about the whole thing. And I started telling my father, because my father is polygamous, and our second wife said, I know you want my daughter to go because you have other daughters. So my father had a lot of difficulty to even let me go again, although he had agreed. He had actually to go the clan. That's why I'm saying when I'm determined, I get determined. The clan called and they asked me, what is it you are saying? We don't understand. I said what I said. And I think the Spirit of God, of course, gave me the courage. Facing the clan, wazee wa kijiji wetu, wa familia. Nikawambia mimi, sijasukumwa na anybody. I feel that God is calling me. I didn't understand what it was all about anyway. But I knew God was calling me. So when they saw I was determined, they said, okay, if that is what it is, we see you are not pushed, you want to go. And do you know what? I was to be taken by the parish priest. I'm giving this story so that you can see, forward ever, backwards never. So the parish priest was to take me to the convent. He gave me a date to go. And when I went to the parish, he said, I'm not going. You can go back, we will go next week. I said, Mimi, siwezi karudi huko tena. I can't go back. I had to look for my way. I took a bus and I went without knowing where I was going. When I was in the middle town, I didn't know where to turn or right or left. But then, people are very kind those days. They guided me and I walked. I walked from middle town to Kabone. Those who know where Kabone is, it's around 7 kilometers from town. And I walked all alone. And I managed. So anyway, that is one thing I really want to thank God about. But eventually, really, my family came to understand. I remember when I was making my first vows, my mother managed to be pushed to come to see. And then, of course, there were many people who are very happy. They were dancing, like we see the sisters and the women were dancing, and they were, very happy. Akaniambia, oh, kumbe mnafurahi namna hii. We sasa kaa. So that is where now I got my blessing, and I was feeling good. And from that time, I moved on without any, the family was very supportive. I remember my late sister, Sylvia. She was very supportive walo. Alikuwa anaambia mama, kama wewe utaki aende, tutaenda wawili. So it was not consolation in that way. So thank you. That was one of the reasons I really want to thank God for. That vocation, that faith that God gave me, and the determination to continue despite all the challenges that were there. I thank my congregation, all the formation stages that I underwent, and God was with me to support me all through. And for those who accompanied me, I really, in my formation journey, I really want to thank all of them. I may not mention all of them, but in particular, I want to thank Sister Agnes, who was our mistress, the novice mistress. Oh, Sister Agnes, are you there? Yes, Sister Agnes is there. She was my novice mistress. Of course, she was quite young by then. And, my group mates are there. They know what kind of ending we gave her. But she was very good with us. At this juncture, I think I can tell my group mates, I can see some of them here to stand up so that those who have journeyed together closely in my group, Sister Francisca is there, and Maria Ruiz are there. I think we are the ones who managed to come. You can see the journey is not short, but we have been there together. Two others are not here, Sister Eugenia, Sister Rosemary. They are okay, like Eugenia has a problem with the knees. We thank God. You can see I'm standing strong, not because of my doing, but because of God's grace. We thank God for that. And all the superiors that accompanied me in my journey, including Sister Generosa, I can see her here. Thank you, Sister Generosa, for coming. Can you start? She was one of the superiors. Thank you. And Sister Francisca also was a superior general at one time. So the other reason why I thank God is for my journey in education and working places. I think I may not talk much about that because Sister Caroline put it very ably about the places that I've worked. But I really wanted to thank all my primary teachers. And I've already told Mr. Keruja, and I invited him specifically, and I'm glad he came. Can you stand again? Sorry for making you stand again. Keruja is my mentor in the primary, intermediate. It was intermediate school at Igandene, and I know I was very tiny by then. I think I was the smallest in the school. And he was very kind to me. He would, put me in front to demonstrate a few things. I was crying, sometimes crying, this kind of a thing. But he was very kind, very kind. Thank you, Mr. Kiruje. And the other places, other levels of education, I really want to thank God for that. As for other places of work, I think you have been told already about, I started working for the Bishop of Meru, the late Bishop Silas Giro, together with my sister Francisca, when I was, I think, 24, 25 years. Very timid, I didn't even know how to behave in the bishop's office, But then, I really appreciate the late Bishop Silas. He was a great mentor. I know he was making conferences for us every month for the first year so that we can know how to behave, even how to walk. You would tell us, you must walk straight, otherwise you ruin your back and all that. Really, I appreciate that. And, that exposure, I think, is the one that has, given me the chance, even for the leadership that we are talking about. Really, he really mentored us, Bishop Silas. And then another person who really mentored me in my working place is when I was working at the KCCB, Kenya Conference of Catholic Bishops, at the Secretariat in Nairobi. And we had this Father Vincent Wambogo was the Secretary General at that time. I remember I had left the office of the Superior General, having served 13 years that time as a Superior General. And then I was looking for somewhere at least I can, do some job in the church, of course, not to be employed outside the church. So Father Wambogo, because he knew me as a superior, and because I had given sisters in the Kinangop and so forth, he said, we can give you some work. So Father Wambogo is the one who gave me work, and now that was another exposure, and that was great because, he put me on another level. I was working at the diocesan level, now he gave me another status, to interact with the bishops. I was even catering for the bishops. I did all kinds of things at the Secretariat. I was a bookkeeper, an accountant. I was an office manager, operations, all kinds of things. Eventually, I was a general cashier. I did all kinds of things at the Secretariat. But I thank God for that exposure, and it has also strengthened me a lot. That other place about in Kobo Hospital, Consolata, I had worked there before I became superior. Actually, that's where I was taken from the first route. And we were working with the Consolata sisters, and they were telling me when we went to the chapter in 1995, this one of the matron, that time I was the administrator, said, make sure you are not elected. So when I was elected, she really literally cried, because it's when we were getting to get into the job. So that was another great exposure, and it helped me to do management and other things, and that was great. Another exposure in the leadership sections, the other exposure was when I was studying at the campus. Being the only nun in that campus, it was not easy. I was at Kabete campus doing commerce, a very strange, combination for religious. Majority of them go for education. But me, I went for BCom, and I completed all alone as a nun. And that was great, God's doing, because He protected me all those years. The fourth thing I'm really talking about thanking God is about leadership. That has been already said, leadership in the congregation. Actually, I think this is the 23rd year since I've been a superior. I served it 13 years. There was a break of 6 years. I then was, returned again on 2014. And God willing, if I won't die before, 2026 is when I will finish my other term now. And that will be 25 years as a superior general. So I'm remaining 3 years to go of this term. And I thank my sisters because they trust me, not because I've done anything great. I think I've been, a sister among the sisters. And I feel that, there is nothing special I can say I have, except to those who say so. But I really, But I live like the other sisters. I'm with them. I sympathize. I know that kind of a life, and I've really enjoyed the religious life. Those people who get tired of the religious life, although I've been there now, although 50 years as a professed member, but 53 in the congregation. You can add now with the years when I was out there. Actually, I can even mention my age. There is nothing to fear. I'm 71 years. So all those many years, you can see how God protects the people who live for Him. I think there is a song that says the people who live by God's word and live for God, they are like that tree is planted in the water. There is a song, Kikuyu song. I'm saying that not for myself, but for all of us. Muntura kurutura Kristo nebwawe agatoro toro bwabo bwega ija mutijura yo andi roje jote nyaraga kachukara yo kirita matunda wobu batu tore a Kristo na tore ba sister itogweri kurunga mano ne tokyabura murungu atwete na tokaraida mbere tote kunoga ukanoga nonto wara kunoga tuibwero bigirwa bishop ako unjagia etuireto itokangananua tuinde kinyora wejire rokere ura wejire muthenya ura wejire ogoro nonto ninge kwa murungu gote those degrees unkoto ure ura bati gutura ukone kenero ryaku na wale ona it doesn't matter where you are sitting. I believe kwe baba emere kwe baba enyuma, but you are enjoying God's presence, so it is important to do that. So thank you very much for the leadership of WSK. Thank you for my sisters who have talked so well. Sister Josephine, the president, I gave the baton to her, she said, and Sister Pasriza was a very energetic secretary. I had another called Agnes before she came, and both of them very wonderful women. Sister Pasriza is still continuing, and I support her even from where I am. We don't fear to call on me in case of anything, and I will be able to give my word, whatever it is. I know there is a project we are doing, and that's why I know I support her very much, and I support the association. That famous AOSK Plaza. She came up with that idea, Sister Pasriza, and we as executive, bought the idea, and this is it. Self-reliance in the church everywhere. Even us as religious in the Association of Kenya, we want to be reliant so that we can be able to reach out to more people, to reach out to the needy congregations. And that's why we are doing that great prayer, and God willing, in a few years to come, we will be seeing it standing, and I support with the whole 100%. Thank you very much. We are talking of terminologies here. There is AOSK. It is Association of Sisterhoods of Kenya. All the religious congregations aggregated together, and they form one association that takes care of the spiritual welfare and the guidance of sisters in Kenya, different congregations. That is one. That is what I served, and that's why my sisters here. Otherwise, I was able to serve even in the executive for many years, but then the leadership as a chair, what they call president, for those years you had, and I was feeling very unworthy, but they insisted I lead them, and I think we tried. We tried. So thank you. Then there is this other regional body called AQUECA. AQUECA is Association of Consecrated Women of Eastern and Central Africa. It's another association which is now for the various conferences. Like USK, then we have these countries are which one? We have Kenya, we have Tanzania, we have Uganda, we have Southern Sudan, we have Eritrea, we have Ethiopia, we have Zambia, Malawi. I think those are the ones. Yeah, and then an associate member of Zimbabwe. So you can see we are all that kind of a body. And I also served in that for 3 years. Of course, if I was not a chair of the OSK, I would not have served the other. So because they go like that. So I served at Quaker for 3 years. And because I was also a superior that time, we have an association called International Union of Superior Generals, which has an office in Rome. And because I was also a superior in my congregation, in the association, in the regional body, I was chosen as a delegate for another 3 years. And you know what? In being a leader, it's very challenging, I can tell you. Sio mchezo kuwa kiongozi wa shirika. It can be very taxing, but it has its own advantages also. Because I could not have traveled all those places I traveled. If I remained only in Meru here, I could not have gone to Zambia, Philippines, Europe, and other places. So you see that those are some of the fringe benefits that you get on being a leader in the associations. And then in international meetings and so forth and so on. So even if it's challenging, it gave me wider horizons, and I was very happy. So I thank God for that also. It has expanded my boundaries. So I don't want to take more time of that. I really wanted to say something about myself, what has kept me going, because it's important. And maybe what has helped me can also help you. I'm sure it could. One of the things, sisters have said here, I really feel connected with my God. I may not look very pious, praying all the time and all that, but I feel connected with my God, and I really feel good. I talk with my God in my own way, in small ways and in big ways, and I've, felt, His presence in many occasions. And 25 years ago, I did my Thanksgiving here of silver, the Jubilee of religious life. So I had the Psalm 139 that say that God, I know you know me, you are beside me, you are all that. I've worked with my God in that capacity. Psalm 139, if those who want to read, you can read. It is an encompassing, He knew me from the beginning when I was not born, even in my mother's womb and all that and all that. So prayer for me is very important, and I'm sure it is for everybody. Maromba ukinyambo Kristo te maromba le omba gutura bwega. Everybody no mwangato siumie gwithira twina Mulungu wetu. Au ange mantu ya compassion kwe untumbiga gwa ndene kwa the push for being compassionate. And that's why I have other many sons and daughters outside there, because of the charities that I was able to do. Not because I have any money, but God gave me chances to be in some of these institutions that can be able to help. And I have mentored many children who are now big people in society, and whatever little that we were able to give. And not only the material things, but that compassionate heart of Jesus, that you really sympathize with them, you feel with them. Even a good word, it is important. I feel a lot to be compassionate. I like to be just. I may not be always that, but I strive to be, because without justice and the peace that we are talking about, but of course it goes also giving people their rights. Hata kwa shirika najaribu tu make sure everybody is heard, everybody can express themselves, but of course doing what they are supposed to do, because rights have also responsibilities. If you are going to be just, it goes also with the rights, human rights and so forth, and then we get peace out of it. I know I live a very simple life and I like it, and I like being joyful. Simplicity and joy, those are a combination of things I like. Somebody said, Sister Caroline said very well, I have had people who hurt me quite a lot, but I have no time to keep that burden. I have no energy to keep any burden of anybody. I think that has made me keep, young, as people say. I let it go very easily. I let it go. I can be hurt, but then all of a sudden I remember my God is there for me. And I say, maybe that is their opinion. If that is what they are feeling, even if they are throwing, spitting on me or so, if that's what they feel, it's okay. They are able to do that. And I forgive. Of course, when you let it go, you forgive. I have no room for burdens. And that has kept me going a lot. And the other one, I think I want to say the last one, is teamwork. I've always embraced teamwork, and I like working with the people. Okay, sometimes I can be assertive, as some of them have said. If I know this is the thing to be done, I can push for it. I know how to push. I can push. I may look very, very timid and, sometimes very like that, but when it stands for doing something which I know is right, I do it, and I can, push people to do it. Not in a bad way, but making sure that they understand what I mean. So otherwise, I think I don't want to take the whole day talking or the whole afternoon. I just want to really thank everybody who came, for that opportunity to celebrate with me. I wanted to appreciate the friends who came. I can see family of Mutea, other friends who came, my family people. I'm really grateful that you had time to join me. My sisters in the congregation, including the novices, the postulants and aspirants, the lay missionaries, and all the Christians who have been able to stay with me during this time and up to this time. And having said that, I still want to emphasize on the appeal that has been made for vocations, that we really need people to continue service in the church. Yeah, Father Constance said it very well, Kionyo is a fertile ground for vocations. But I want also to appeal now personally, because those sisters from Kionyo, from my congregation, who are they? I think they are only 3. Marichera, Wanja, Trasila, where are you? I think they are the only ones. And you can see we are getting old. I don't see whether maybe Nazareth is not more attractive or whatever it is. I know they are going to various congregations, which is also good, because congregations are like, flowers in the church. You can choose. You can choose which pleases you, because we are serving the same God. We shouldn't be competing. I keep on repeating. In the church, we are serving the same God, and there is no competition. People have their charisms, why they were founded, and people follow them for that. But I would appeal for the young people, the young children who are there, if you feel that you really want to become sisters, choose from congregations, they are there. But even come to Nazareth also, because when I'm growing old and I'm not able to do anything, I need somebody young to take care of me. I needed to say that. And of course, for the priests, we need many priests in the diocese. We need priests in the religious congregations, like the Operates of Mary here, Operates of Mary Immaculate. They are the ones who are in charge of this parish. And we want vocations for different congregations. So with that note, I really want to invite everybody. We pray for vocations and we nurture them. Kama ni Wakristo, tusaidie kukuza mawito ili watoto wengu wakuwe mapadri, my brother, my sister, ili tujenge kanisa. Kwa sababu if all the priests are elderly, who will serve you during Mass? Nobody. And if the sisters are not having any more vocation, we will also continue to do the kind of work that we do. Sister Esperanza, mentioned quite a number of things that we do. But our major mission is to be with women. And Sister Gemma, she has done a lot with women in this diocese, working in the diocese for about 20 years now, 22 if I can count. And she does a good job with the women. Sister Tarasila Wanja does with the PMC and the others. So tusaidiane tukuze mito ili Mungu azidi kutusaidia. Kwa haya mengi na machache nasema asanteni sana na Mungu azidi kuwabariki. Asanteni, Mungu awabariki.